Hi everyone, this is Jackdaw, and here's a game with me flying out the B-17 on the Berlin map. And I hope to show you some tips and tricks on how to fly the B-17 by showing you this game. Usually I go for a high altitude bombing of pillboxes and such first, and then I dive down lower to take out artillery and AAA positions. But here we had a matchmaking consisting of 7 B-17s, as you can see. Even even a bot had a B-17. I think it was Henry. So there were some stiff competition about the ground targets, so I opted to dive down straight ahead to gain some speed and to get to the targets first. And while I'm at it, might just as well chat for a bit in the team chat. So I'm looking around to see where my teammates are, so I won't collide with them. You can also look at your mini-map for that, but I prefer the old-fashioned way, just looking around. So we're getting close to the first bombing run, and I will show you a picture that I made very soon, which will show you how I think. So here it is, and this is the line that I have in mind, and the cross is the target that I'm going to bomb, and the circles are the targets that I'm going to gun down with the machine guns. Or that was the initial plan. Anyway, when you come in at this speed, it's quite hard to target with your machine gun, so you might want to have a slightly lower speed. So I zoom in by using my SES key to drop the first bomb accurately on that pillbox, and then I switch over to my machine gunner and I look for ground targets to gun them down. And usually I don't fire beyond 1.5 kilometers, because that's not gonna be effective. And it turns out that the second row of targets, which I had intended to gun down with the machine guns, were actually light pillboxes, so I dropped bombs on them instead. And I look at the minimap and I see a lot of round dots, and that means airplanes, so I need to check my surroundings. But I can see that there are no threats, so I proceed to take out some ground targets with the machine gunners. But yeah, I was basically trying to do too many things at the same time, so I missed those shots. What you want to do is that you want to line up a little bit better in a straight line towards your target, because the straighter line you come in flying towards the target, the easier it will be to direct your fire. Shooting stuff that's out to the side like this is a bit harder, so you really need to look at where those machine gun rounds are going and just fire. And I can't really give you any tips on or any advice on how to use your machine gunner and how to aim. You just have to look at the rounds to see where you're firing at, and then just learn by doing. So here's my second approach in. I was watching out to the right, so I'm gonna bomb those pillboxes and then gun down the artillery after that. So I swing wide and I come in. Try to drop some altitude, or try to I'm trying to level out the plane, which can be a bit tricky in the B-17. I'm also trying not to get too close to the ground, because that will blow my wings off. And yeah, I missed that bomb. But I don't worry, because there's plenty more where that one came from. And here you can see what I'm talking about. Coming in at straight line is much easier to shoot at your ground targets. Line up the fire. So I'm swinging around again. Looking for another line, which I will show you here in a second. So here I've opted to swing to the left first and then come around and to gun down that AAA and some other targets, and then bomb a line of pillboxes. I swing left first and then wing over, and I line up for this first AAA position. Try to take him out with a machine gunner in the nose. He catch fire, but I miss. And then I turn to right, and I see that I'm out of time to get that first RT position. So I aim my bombs for the light pillboxes instead. I get a few hits in, but I missed one bomb. So I have to come around again and do it all over. And from time to time now, when I'm flying, I'm looking around to see if there are any enemies, and at the same time I'm looking at the minimap for around the red dots, because that means fighters. So I'm having a second round run over those ground positions. I'm looking at the roster. I can see that we're quite safe at the moment. So I'm kind of taking it easy at this point, because there's no threat in the immediate area around me. So I can just take it easy and knock some ground targets out. And here I'm trying to fly the plane while in the machine gunner view, and it makes for a poor lineup for taking out that AAA. As you can see here, I'm having a lot of trouble taking out that position. And I can't take it out, so I had to come around and do it again later on. Switch over to pilot control and swing around. And here I'm thinking I'm going to position myself between the artillery positions to the left and the AAA on the right, so I can take them both out. And I'll knock out the AAA proceed to take out the artillery on the ground. And I run out of ammo, so I need to check if my tail gunner has some ammo, so fire straight out behind me. And I'm waiting for my machine gunner to get an opportunity, but he's too far away to get some accurate fire in. So while I'm waiting for my reload, I swing around and I'm thinking maybe I have ammunition for my nose gunner. And while I'm at it, I find this light pillbox and I bomb that and try to take out that ground position with a side gunner at the nose. And the side gunner is reloaded, so I could take him out. Take that already out. I spot this AAA. So I go down low. So that they won't be able to fire at me accurately. And at about 1.2 kilometers out I start firing, and I aim slightly under the target, and that gives a sort of strafing effect as I move, as my plane is flying straight towards the AAA battery. So if you fire in pulses, you will hit the AAA battery with at least a few rounds. So here I'm trying to do the same thing. Stabilize the plane first and dive a bit and switch over to gunner view. And 1.2, and I'll start firing. And I just watch where the bullet flies, and I just fire. And I can see on the mini-map that there's no threat from any fighters in the near area, so at this point I more or less forgot about them. But every now and then I check the minimap to see if there's any fighters around me.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Trying to line up the shots here. It gets harder to hit while you're flying straight over the enemy position, so I tend not to fire when I'm directly over them, because the machine gunners they have to adjust the turrets and swing around the turrets, and that throws off the aim. See that fighter over to the right. So what I'm doing here is that I know that I've been firing with my tail gunner, so I want to reload my tail gunner's machine gun before that Yak 3P comes into range. So I fire a burst to empty the machine gun so that he will reload, and while there still is time, because I don't want to get attacked by him and then fire off a few bursts and then I have to wait for a reload. And what I did there was that I saw that he came in a bit close, so I just turned to throw off his aim, because if you fly straight you're much easier to hit. I spot this AAA position on the ground. I'm thinking I might just take that out. And here he comes. So I'm aiming ahead of him and I'm looking at where the bullets fly. And I just fire accordingly. And I'm always trying to shoot where he is going, not directly at him. So I aim slightly ahead of him all the time. And I'm lucky enough to put out my own fire and make him catch fire. So that's the end of the Yak 3P. And that's more or less the end of this game as well. This must be the best game I've had in the B-17 for a long time. Maybe, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months or so. And here's the stats and the rewards. I got a bit over 100,000 lions, 1 kill and 29 ground targets. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Yakto over and out.